Do you know that the environment you find yourself in can have a significant impact on your life? Now, we share most of us, the Ghanaian youth and people in Africa, because of the environment near our way of life, it has limited our imagination until we are unable to see what is possible for our lives. You understand? We think say around us no senya obi live is the normal way of life everywhere. But that is not true. And because of that, your decisions, the things that we focus on, actions we take, has really changed, has been affected by all the things that we see. Who be say normal. But then anybody who gets the chance to step out of that environment gets to see that no, this is not normal. There is a problem that needs solving. And today, that is what we are going to talk about. A couple of days ago, I watched a video, an interview of a guy. Na ye interview no, ye bisa no senya economy needs here. And also no the MPP nipa, but so be catch and say, he doesn't understand. You get me? He doesn't understand because regardless of whether the economy is good or bad, you still have to strive to earn a living, which is very true.
Na as Ghanaian, you know, kono uhuni say eko say.
Oh, me to me no. Me MPP ni pa. Me jam me card ni na semboto. Me MPP. But me to me the chrono abanko. Obi nsore aban bi enu obeba me fia be ma aduane adi. Me ana me force no ma yere ma pe ma aduane adi. Nti se me te wona me baba ka chem da o man ma yede a. Fine, oman ma yede minim ni a wo pa kire so oman ma yede because oman mu go na se me tifia me nidi. Ese me strike ansa na me didi. Nti oman mu na baba ka chem se oman ma yede no. Me side me ntiase sa.
But what he doesn't understand is that say you were a good leadership. Now the right decisions and things are being done within the country. We will be able to create certain systems that ever supporting people. The struggle now we wouldn't have to go through that. And if you were the interview, you bisano adia or Felix Abaninye, and he's talking about gutters and overpass.
Constituency no uhuni say.
Constituency no na me won say you hear gutters, you hear some gutters. At the same time no traffic you hear overpass. Oh, main road no because of traffic. Edumanko any other. And
these are the things that our leaders for so long they've been doing. And this clearly shows the lack of imagination. Because of only exposure and only information, he's limited to just certain few things around him. And he thinks that is the normal things here for survival, still living in survival mode. But let's think about this. Anybody who gets to step outside Ghana and I'll step outside the normal environment, the normal way, a normal style, a normal living, that is when the travel and see thing comes in. No. Because what Ghana no Feli said, oh, this is normal. But then Stepia who said people are not living like this. And people shouldn't even be living like this. And yes, I'm live it this way. There's a story I want to share with you. Then after that, we talk about it. Okay.
You know, you come up in a 2-bedroom home with that many people. There was a lot of love, but at the same time, you feel as if that's life, right? Because my friends up the street, they were struggling the same way. They lived the same way. They slept on the floor the same way. They didn't have beds, right? And so when I started playing sports, the thing that sports did for me, I think the most important, it wasn't just opportunity. It gave me exposure. And so I remember the first time I went to my coach's house and I was like, man, like his kids got their own room. Like they got their own beds, right? Like they're living. They don't have to rush to the dinner table to try to make sure they rush to get the food because they don't have as many people in the house. Whereas with us, you got 14, 15 people at one time in the house, you got to rush to try to eat sometimes, right? And so when I got to experience a different side of life, I remember coming back and talking to my cousins, and I was like, it's a different life out there. And they were like, what do you mean? I was like, it's a different life. Like, it's people that don't live like this, right? Like, this is not normal. And they couldn't fathom it, right? Until we were with my coach one day, and I remember he bought me my first steak, right? And I came back home and I was like, man, coach bought me a steak. Man, I got a steak, right? And I was so hyped. But what it did for me was it made me realize that people didn't have to live like that if they didn't want to. It impacted me and it affected me.
So from watching the video, you understand. Say, on a community, no, say you know living as 14 people living in a 2-bedroom house. Once in a week, and on the cousins, no 6 cousins, no, omunya chance edam paso. Now say even with that, no, and yes, on one better so almost 6 papa. And he saw that around him, you know, all his other friends, the neighbors, they were living the same way. So Ono Fele said that is the normal life. But then when he got the opportunity to be invited to his teacher's house, they don't have to rush to the dinner table to eat. He realized that no, this is not normal. Like the way I'm living is normal. And things need to change. And the problem is when he went to tell his cousins, they couldn't understand because they haven't seen it. So I think that part of the problem that we have in Ghana as to claim say progress, but when the progress is just at our fingertips, we still go back for the old stuff is because imagination, we are limited in our imagination. Until near something we shouldn't even talk about in making decisions. No one say choose to say this is what we want, We'll still be talking. After the baby, and make it the wrong decision. Because if you look at our system, there are so many things that are being done wrong. No beer or be too quiet abroche anywhere. I'll be who send your systems netia or who say no, there is something wrong somewhere. But the problem is, say, obi too quiet no who all these things are. Instead of say, obe say no, there is a problem that needs fixing. Now say we are doomed because your leaders, it goes to complaints. But then the mindset that we are supposed to develop, and they say who all these things out there are, it should give us the mindset of the perspective of, say if these people have done this, then we can do the same thing. And who say life na live and our environment na and our system na use it's like something needs to be done about it. I see any change, na stress all this struggle no free your life. Because if you look at how people are living comfortably with just systems or marketing just to support people, now share even commuting, when it comes to transportation, the stress we have to go through to move from one place to other, it's a problem. You understand? So say Uteho Nasisia with the current election all these things we have to make decisions to make things right. The current elections because from the guy's video or say regardless of whatever happens, so only the NPP and away which is wrong.
Yeah, I feel why not better Abaman?
But that means some maybe I said that MPP and Meto Abaman.
And this is some way I do man yadio.
Means some maybe I said that.
You see, we need progress. Into lack of imagination. If this person should travel outside to see the systems, that same person will say, no, go for a boy, bro. Anybody can attest to that. But then because of what's our environment, no who said that is the normal thing, I don't know, yes, kaka cry, edition, but Philly said that should be the normal thing. Everybody will struggle now, but it's not so. We can be able to put systems in place to help ourselves. So that is why I'm talking about this right now. As a MBA imagination, MBA dream, cause we share your man will be say gutters ni overpass ni sani mana. It's pure lack of imagination. Like to me, dream big. Most of us can't think big because the environment, has limited us in our thinking. MBA dream, MBA we should think big as to what we really want. Niema, it won't just benefit just a few, but everybody. And that will come from exposure. That will come from learning, knowledge. This is here say you improve your home ni esua ade a nka this election cheddar on kasa bebre. He need not talk because anybody who has gone out there is working in a private industry. But then yet whilst he has come with the idea or the philosophy of building industries within the country, we are still sitting down thinking whether or not we need those things. So many years we've been in this problem, and now there is a solution, and we are still talking about it. It's like Africa deciding they want to be like come together, and we have to go for meetings over that. Yeah, and as you brought together, all we have to do is to come together. Then along the way, we make those kind of decisions to help and support each other. But then since when did we start thinking of coming together? We've been going for meetings to decide whether or not we should come together. This is a problem. We waste time on things that don't really matter. So this year, the elections is just a few days away. Now open your imagination to the policies and vote right, because the industrialization and the things are that is the right thing. Anybody who has traveled outside can see. Open your imagination. Not first limited when you're thinking in that to open your eyes. That is going to help you. So I just wanted to say this. If you've traveled outside and you've seen the things that these people have done for themselves, instead of you condemning what we have back home, you should find a way to solve the problems back home. So also want to find that now name how our life here go on the internet and just watch videos of how people are living out there. So then you realize that our current situation is not destined for you. As near being decisions being a way of thinking and a lead you into that kind of environment, and then we need to change that. Okay, so here's where I'll leave it. I hope this video makes sense to anybody out there, and if you like it, subscribe to help the channel grow. And I just want to say that thanks to everybody who has been leaving a comment. I really like the fact that watch a video now or share a view on it. I really like it. Okay, so thank you, and well, catch you in the next one. Okay, peace out.